The old wooden cabin nestled between the pines had been in our family for decades. It wasn't fancy, just 2 bedrooms, creaky floors, and a porch where summer nights carried the smell of pine and wood smoke. My wife, Sarah, loved it more than anyone. To her, it wasn't just a building. It was her safe place after years of serving the community as a detective. We hadn't been there in almost 2 years, not since her last undercover case nearly cost her life. She wanted to fix the place up, maybe breathe life into its quiet walls again. So one Saturday morning, we drove out, our pickup loaded with supplies. When Sarah pulled out the new lock she had bought and began drilling into the doorframe, I could see how serious she was. "Fresh start," she said softly, brushing the sawdust from her hands. But we didn't know the HOA president was watching. Mrs. Callahan, sharp-eyed and sharp-tongued, lived 3 cabins down. She had made it her mission to control every nail, paintbrush, and flowerpot within the association. She spotted Sarah replacing the lock and immediately saw it as a violation. She marched up the dirt road, arms crossed, lips thin with disapproval. "Excuse me," she snapped. "You can't just change the locks without board approval." Sarah didn't flinch. "This is our property. The old lock was rusty. I'm replacing it." Mrs. Callahan's eyes narrowed. "That's not how it works here. We have rules. If you don't follow them, you don't belong here." I tried to intervene, calm things down, but the woman was already on her phone. Within minutes, we saw the flash of blue lights through the trees. The sheriff's car pulled into the gravel driveway. My chest tightened. Neighbors peeked through curtains, whispering, waiting to see what kind of scandal was unfolding. The deputy stepped out, hand resting on his holster. "We got a call," he said carefully, eyeing Sarah. "Something about unauthorized entry and property damage." My wife turned, silent at first. Her jaw tightened. She had seen this 1,000 times before, the rush to judge, the assumption of guilt. She wasn't just another homeowner. She was someone who had spent her life protecting others, and now she was being treated like a criminal, in her own cabin. "Sir," she said evenly, "this is my family's property. I can show you the deed." Mrs. Callahan interjected loudly, "Don't let her fool you. She's breaking the rules, disrespecting the association. Arrest her if you must." The deputy shifted uncomfortably. Something in Sarah's calm, steady gaze made him pause. And then, slowly, Sarah reached into her wallet and flipped it open. The golden badge caught the sunlight. The deputy froze. So did Mrs. Callahan. The forest fell silent, the only sound the whisper of wind through pine needles. Sarah's voice was steady. "I'm Detective Sarah Miller. I think we need to have a different kind of conversation." Shock rippled through the small crowd that had gathered. A detective? Suddenly, the woman they were so quick to dismiss wasn't just another rule breaker. She was law enforcement, someone who had risked her life more times than anyone here could imagine. The deputy cleared his throat. "Ma'am. I wasn't aware." Sarah didn't smile. She wasn't flashing her badge for power, it was necessity. "I didn't want to come back here with this," she said, her eyes flicking between the deputy and Mrs. Callahan. "But since I'm being accused in front of my neighbors, I need you all to understand. I served this county for nearly 15 years. This cabin has been my sanctuary, my only place of peace. And I'll be damned if anyone tells me I can't change the lock on my own door." The words carried weight. The deputy's stance softened. Even Mrs. Callahan, who had always lived on power and fear, seemed suddenly small. Her face paled, her voice faltered. I didn't know," she muttered. Sarah's hands trembled slightly as she tucked the badge away. She had wanted to keep her personal and professional lives separate. She had wanted to just be a wife, a homeowner, a woman fixing up her cabin. But here she was, forced to reveal her identity in defense of something as simple as privacy. Later, as we sat on the porch, the sun setting in hues of gold and violet, Sarah sighed. "You know what hurts most? It's not the HOA. It's that people are so quick to assume the worst instead of simply asking." I reached over and squeezed her hand. "You didn't just show them a badge today. You showed them who you are." The next morning, something unexpected happened. Neighbors began to stop by, not with accusations, but with apologies. A man from 2 cabins over brought us fresh firewood. A family down the road offered pie. Even Mrs. Callahan showed up, awkward and fidgeting, with a plate of cookies. I may have overreacted, she said stiffly. It's just, I've seen so many newcomers treat this place like a playground. I thought. Sarah met her eyes. Next time, ask before you assume. That moment shifted something in the community. People who once eyed us with suspicion began to wave when they passed. The cabin no longer felt like a battleground, it felt like home again. And Sarah? She found healing in those woods. For the first time in years, she let herself breathe without the shadow of her badge defining her. But when the wind rustled through the trees at night and the lock on the door clicked firmly shut, I knew one thing for certain: my wife wasn't just protecting our home. She was reclaiming her peace, her dignity, and her place in a world that had nearly forgotten how to see beyond labels. Sparkle's closing message for YouTube. Sometimes, the strongest battles aren't fought in courtrooms or crime scenes. They're fought in the quiet spaces of everyday life, where respect, dignity, and compassion mean more than any rule book. Sarah reminded everyone that day, before you judge someone, ask who they truly are.